Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your friendly neighborhood Natman2939 here, going through some old Fortnite footage, because I've got so much. This is from April 9th, 2025. Today's date, March 31st, 2026. So I'm a little behind. Yeah. I used to upload every single win that I had, and I still mostly just record the wins, and still managed to get like a year behind. The power of procrastination knows no bounds. So what I wanted to do today, I wanted to go through and upload all these wins, but I also wanted to sort of vent for a second, because I want to upload these wins, add commentary, and vent. Not about the game. The game's fine. I want to vent about society. There's a couple of clips I saw today that really upset me, really pissed me off, and I'll try to include them in the description. One was a YouTube short, and the other was a X video, or like a Twitter, video. And basically, so the first one was this guy watching a video of a teacher who was talking about how mean students can be. How, they're constantly disrespectful, cruel, just like they don't care about anything. She had to go to a funeral, apparently, and the students in her classroom, while she was gone, were supposed to be taking this test, and apparently they all, cheated like crazy. They just blatantly cheated, were calling out the answers to each other, looking up stuff on their phones, which you're supposed to, not even have the phone in the classroom and stuff like that, especially during a test. And if that wasn't enough, this is sort of the surprise twist at the end. She said her son had died when he was 23, and she had his funeral program on the wall of her classroom to remember him, and these motherfuckers stole it. It was gone when she got back. So this brings us to the second video. Nice shot. Am I gonna get this guy? Don't worry about it. Alright, so this brings us to the second video. Basically, the second video was a real simple. I like to watch body cam stuff. I like to watch police arresting bad guys, especially the ones that are rowdy and cause problems. But this particular one was just a normal, young-looking dude, white dude, who had worked at something like a Dollar General or a Dollar Tree. And he stole about $2,800, nearly $3,000 of money from the business. And he did this because after a customer would buy something, he would pretend that they refunded it and put the money on his own card. And he made up some excuse. How he was broke and he needed the money and stuff. Which, by the way, I've been broke before. I've been bad broke. In my life, I've been on food stamps. I never stole $3,000 from anywhere that I worked. Never stole shit from anybody. Maybe a pack of gum. But nothing like that. To enjoy this chase sequence. Anyway, so dude steals about $3,000 worth of stuff. And what do you imagine the comment section is like? You think they're like, "Hey, we're glad he got caught," or, "Well, that's what he gets. You get what you deserve." You imagine that's what they said? Nope. Let me light this dude up real quick. Oh, actually, I'm missing like crazy. You think you would jump off the train, because I clearly got it. Yeah, so they didn't say any of that stuff that normal, sane society would say. Instead, it was more along the lines of constantly dogging the manager for pressing charges. I know these are NPCs attacking, but I do wonder what the heck I'm doing here. Grab those big drinks, you idiot. Sorry. So they were constantly talking shit about the manager for pressing charges. They were mad at her for being happy that he was caught, because she kind of smiled and was like, absolutely, I'm pressing charges, and oh, they didn't like that. And in fact, the majority of the comments were basically saying how not only should she have not pressed charges, she should have just let him have the money, or at least considered it a loan or something. I mean, the audacity honestly blows my mind. It really does, like... And that's why I sort of connect the first video to the second video. Is because when you think about how spoiled and shitty people can be, then it sort of makes a little bit more sense. The generation that would steal a lady's son's funeral program, the generation that acts like stealing from companies is no big deal at all, which that's been going on for a while. Woo! Get out of there, Nate. Get out of there. Yeah, this idea for quite a while that as long as you're stealing from a company, it's no big deal. You mix that stuff together, and you end up with in a world where people are legitimately more mad at a manager for doing your job than somebody who stole $3,000. And it just boggles the mind. Like, fuck consequences, fuck doing the right thing. Like, again, they don't care. I saw some people like, well, maybe if he had stolen it from, like, the customers, I would understand, but who cares if he stole it from the business? You don't even get me started on this shit, but the fact that they were saying don't press charges, they were saying things like, you could call it a loan, but just let him pay you back. This shit makes me want to throw up. And it's, like I said, it's directly tied to that first thing about the classroom. Because so many people basically act like there shouldn't be consequences for anything. And if they ever do get consequences, they're like, they sort of, how can I put this? Whenever certain types of people do get consequences, they act like you're wrong for punishing them for doing something. Like, yeah, I committed a crime, but like, you don't have any dick about it. Yeah, I stole something, but like, I needed it, so like, fuck you. Like, you're not Jean Valjean. You didn't steal a loaf of bread so you wouldn't starve, you son of a bitch. Don't even act like that. And this whole, oh, well, prison's not gonna help him. You know what? Not stealing would have helped him. If you're that worried about prison being the wrong place for the young man, encourage his ass not to steal. I mean, it's just one thing after another in these situations. And I see stuff like this a lot. I feel like I really do. Because I watch a lot of body cam footage. And there are people, you know, I hear this a lot. You may have heard this phrase. don't you have something better to do, officer? Like, can't you go investigate some real crimes? Like minor stealing, traffic offenses, driving without a license, driving without an expired tag. These are all things police should overlook until they've caught every single murderer, every single rapist in the world, apparently. Or how about well, people in government commit crimes. Donald Trump never got in trouble for being on the Epstein list. So, why should I get in trouble for stealing a couple $1,000? Why should I get in trouble for having an expired tag when government people do this and that all the time? Fuck you, you idiots. What are you talking about? This one guy made a really good point. I'm gonna pull it up. This one guy made a really good comment. Give me 1 second. I replied to a lot of people, so let's see. Damn, I got so mad I commented to a bunch of people. Okay, so here's what... Let me start from the top here. So this one person said... So it was... Okay, this is actually another video. This was a completely different video than the first two I mentioned. It was a sovereign citizen got pulled over for not having tags. She ended up not having a license at all. And the comments, of course, are defending her. She ended up getting arrested for it because she refused to provide a license. Only after she began to get arrested did she admit she didn't have one. And this one guy says, good for her. Why pull over anybody for a fucking expired tabs? Give her a verbal warning and go fight some real crime. So somebody replied to that and said, she got arrested for not cooperating, not for having expired tags, because she probably would have just got a warning for expired tags. And I think the cop even said that in the video. And then he says, if she would have gave them her license, which is her obligation at that point, and that would have checked out, she probably would have just gotten a warning and been on her way, maybe a ticket. Turns out she didn't even have a driver's license, which is why she refused, and that's why she was arrested. If you can't pull somebody over for driving without expired tags, then nobody would ever get valid tags. Great point. It's almost like the system works a certain way. He said, nobody is forcing anybody to drive cars on the road, but if you choose to do it, there are rules you must follow, whether you agree with them or not. When you get a driver's license, that's basically a contract that says you agree to following those rules. And a part of the police's job is to make sure people follow those rules, which is why they are supposed to stop you if you don't. If you don't get that license, you're not allowed to drive a car on the road. It's really that simple. Okay? Now, quite a few people did like that comment, thank God, but less than 10% of the people who said, less than 10% of the likes that the guy who said, give her a verbal warning and go fight some real crime. But anyway, to that guy who said the smart thing that I agree with, somebody replied, real fucking crime is going on every day, and your lack of understanding is to post something as dumb as this. And that's why this country's going down the toilet. I bet you believe everything President Spur says, don't you? As dumb as this? Your lack of understanding to post something as dumb as this? Huh. So which part of this was dumb again? Remind me, was it the part where she got arrested for not cooperating? Was it the part where if you can't pull somebody over for driving without an expired tag, then nobody would ever get a valid driver's tag? Is it the part where there are rules and laws that we have to follow on the road, and cops have the job of enforcing them? Is it the part where if you want to drive, you're expected to follow those rules? And that's all he said. It's really, really common sense stuff. And yet there's a real human being, not rage baiting by the way, I mean, this is a real human being, who says that what that person said was, as posting something as dumb as this is why the country's going down the toilet. It's astounding to me. And it's not just one person, too. I'm just going to randomly look at some of this. These cocksuckers need to lose their badge. 586 likes, 259 comments. See a black person, arrest a black person, same old song and dance. Stupid fucking pig escalating this traffic stop. What a waste of taxpayer money. I'm not sure why they didn't just cite her for no registration. Well, because she wouldn't cooperate. Like at all. Someone walks up to you and asks for your license and you're like, why? Why do you need it? Because here's a smart person. Sickening how many commenters side with... Well, never mind. Jeez. No, never mind. Actually, they said sickening how many commenters side with goon cops who only exist to protect billionaires and steal money from commenters. See, when I saw sickening how many commenters side with, I just assumed, because I want to believe in the goodness of humanity, that they were going to say sickening how many people comment, how many commenters side with the criminal. But no, they said with the goon cop who only exists to protect billionaires and steal comments and steal money from commenters. I mean, from commenters, excuse me. Holy shit, man. That had 1.2k likes, by the way. 1.2. Someone said, I hope you never call 911. Yep. We side with the law, not cops. It's against the law to refuse ID for a traffic violation. Could have just got a ticket and been on her way. She chose to be dumb. Yes, exactly. This is how a civilized society works. Is that we have a social contract, he meant to say. We agree to live according to the laws that are enacted for the good of the people. I bet they're not going to like that. Oh yeah, they say, you're giving me options that aren't options. I never agreed to this Big Brother 1984 social contract. I was born into it. And there's nowhere I can go to escape its tentacles, so my only choice is to fight it. 1984 social contract? Tentacles? You're talking about being born into a civilization with laws? Like, as opposed to anarchy? You realize if you were not born into a civilization with laws, people could just, like, rob you whenever they wanted. It wouldn't simply be traffic stuff. This is just crazy, man. Sickening how many commenters side with goon cops who only exist to protect billionaires. It just drives me nuts. Like, I get the police can act up sometimes, and sometimes they do abuse their authority. But there are people, believe it or not, who are just clearly in the wrong. You're driving without an expired tag, and apparently no license, you fucked up. You don't get to turn around and cry, no, why aren't you giving me more of a chance? I don't understand, don't you have any real criminals to catch? Why are there so many of you that support this? Someone says, it's a victimless crime, by the way, crime in quotation marks. I don't even know why people get arrested for this. And someone said, she could have avoided that shit by giving the license, which she didn't have, by the way. Get a ticket, and that's it. Exactly. And they chirp back. Cops are overly aggressive and escalate situations so they can reach their quotas. He wasn't overly aggressive. I watched the video. He was friendly. He was nice about it. He was just like, man, please, just give me your license. And she's like, why? Why do I need to give you my license? This is not even my car. Like, just absolutely bullshitting him. Because she knew. And it turns out she didn't have a license. Anyway. She admits she's driving without a driver's license, but doesn't understand why she's being arrested. Of course, because, you know, they always go, what are you arresting me for? Why? Why? Why would I speak to a supervisor? What is it with people constantly asking for supervisors, like, immediately? You think the supervisor is, like, pro-crime? The supervisor's gonna be like, you let her go right this second. Hey, have y'all seen the video, actually, this reminds me, have you seen the video of that trans lawyer who got tackled in some kind of, it was a courtroom over custody of a child or something, and they got tackled because they were in contempt of court, and basically, as they're being tackled by all these police officers, and totally resisting, by the way, while screaming, I'm not resisting! They're like, place your hands behind your back. And the police say, place your hands behind your back. The person goes, why? Why? And then they start to kind of, you know, grab the arms and put them behind the back. And they go, why are you grabbing me? Why are you grabbing me? They say, don't resist. I'm not resisting. Yeah, but you're not putting your hands behind your back, are you? So then they end up having to tackle this motherfucker because they're fighting. And the whole time, this person is screaming over and over, call 911. Call 911. You're being arrested by the fucking police. Like, in what fantasy do you think they're gonna, what are they gonna do? Come in and be like, you let him go right now. You let this trans man go right now. How dare you? I imagine people in drag just running in. You let him go. You let him go right now. That was a pretty sweet ending. Anyway. So that's my rant. I had to get that off my chest. I'm going to start doing stuff like this way more often. So if you're interested in it, come back anytime. Oh, and FYI, I won't always be ranting about police stuff. You know, it could be anything. You know me, I'll rant about WWE, fighting games, just anything that catches my mind. That was a pretty, I don't know how I survived that. That was great. I always love going back and watching the replays later. It's crazy that this is from last April. If I had waited a week, this would have been a year ago. How do you like that? So yeah, I know I've come back a few times and said that I'm going to start being more regular, but it feels like I'm actually doing it. I got my Zangief to Diamond. I got my Jamie to Diamond like the day after. I even did some live commentary on that one. And I'm finally going to start uploading these Fortnite videos, as well as way more Street Fighter stuff. And if I ever do play Strive, I'll do that too. I've got a bunch of things I want to talk about, so like I said, just come on back anytime, and you'll see what I'm rambling about for the day. Anyway, peace.